In and out. Good day of practice today. Guys are locked in, they're focused, and they should be. You know, it's postseason play, and we're excited about where we are. And we understand it's do or die. You got to win or you go home. So we got a difficult task this week. The Packers are a real good football team, and they showed that last week against the Cowboys. I think their run game is probably top notch right now in how they're performing, and moving the ball down the field, offensive line, controlling the line of scrimmage in so many different ways, buying time for Love to get the ball down the field off play action. But Jones and Dillon, they're running the ball at a high level. The receivers are playing great. With Reed leading the charge there. So a lot of respect for those guys. They're well coached, and again, it's going to be difficult, but we're looking for the challenge this week.
Jordan Love started off the season a little slow. He's been really hot the second half of the season. How good is he really, and what's the key to defending him?
I think he's real good, and I think a lot of part of the season maybe he was maybe twice or maybe three times NFC Player of the Week. So he's doing some great things, and I think number one, he's protecting the ball, and he's putting the ball where it needs to go. You think about a young guy like that, and you forget that he's really played behind Aaron for 3 years. So he's learned a lot. He's mature. You can see that on the field. Even when you think about, okay, here's a guy that I'm going to try to go pressure, where his percentage rate against pressure is pretty high. So he does a great job of getting rid of the ball.
How do you disrupt the rhythm he's in? He's in an incredible rhythm. You guys did this against Lawrence, I think, coming out of the bye, took him out of rhythm early in that game. How do you try to take a quarterback out of rhythm when he's really in one?
Well, I think the number one thing is we have to try to stop this run, to try to make it one-dimensional. When they're very effective running the ball, I think it just opens up the play action. And that's where you see, him being extremely effective in taking his shots down the field and finding that open receiver. So that's number one. And then again, we just got to try to mix things up on him a little bit, to give him something to think about and figure out where he needs to go with the ball.
In the past, Matt LaFleur would sort of build the offense along with Aaron Rodgers, with Rodgers' input. Now, it seems like this is really LaFleur's offense. What's the hallmark of it? What do you see from it, and how similar is it to what you do here?
Well, I think you can see he's doing an excellent job. Number one, he's committed to the run game. That's the consistency there. I think at times when you have a first ballot Hall of Famer, a guy like that, who can throw the ball 55, 60 times, go win you a game, is different. But now, not saying that Love can't do that, but LaFleur is dedicated and committed to running the ball, and it shows, which allows and opens up different things for the offense to be, very productive. So I see that being the difference.
Love's doing one thing that's kind of unique, Steve. He's dropping back at the top of his drop. He's starting to fade away to buy himself a little bit more time, and it's been effective for him. Is there a counter to something like that? And what have you thought when you watched it?
Well, there's no counter there. That's somewhat what I was alluding to where him being able to come up behind Aaron for those last 3 years. That's one of the things that Aaron was very effective with. Drifting a little bit, buying time, and he has an arm strength. Love, I'm talking about, to still get the ball down the field. You saw that with zero pressure against the Cowboys, and he hit that, what I call that Dino post for the touchdown in the red zone. And we got to do a great job on the back end plastering, what we call right now, really latching on to our receivers. He's going to do a great job buying time. He can't do that with his feet. He's not looking to run. His eyes are still down the field, trying to be effective and get the ball thrown. So that's number one. And then two, we got to win up front. Our front four got to do a great job in getting after this quarterback.
Aaron Jones, I believe, has had 400-yard games in a row. What does he do well? How good is he?
He's real good. He runs behind his pass. He can run in between the tackles. He can really jump set and get the ball to the perimeter defense. And that's a point of emphasis, each and every week, but particularly this week as well. We got to do a great job setting edges. And I think, again, running behind his pass, he doesn't have a job in really making the first guy miss, after contact. So we got to do a great job with 11 guys swarming and getting to the ball.
How about Ryan and Brown? Brown's coming off the knee sprain. How's he looked in practice? And is that a decision you got to make? Decide one or the other there? How do you view that?
Well, again, they both are looking well in practice. Jair's bounced back, as you just talked about. He's looking good. You know, Logan has been consistent. You know, they both dealing with a little bit of injuries and whatnot, but thus far this week, I haven't seen any setbacks, so that's encouraging. You know, Logan is a guy that's been there. He's had the experience. He's played in 2 Super Bowls. Postseason is something that's just not unusual to him. But also, when you look at Jair, it's not too big for him. You know, being able to come in and fill the shoes of Huff, all-pro player that went down, unfortunately. Jair didn't blink, and he's doing a great job. So it's good to be in that situation to have these guys available.
Do the Packers have a go-to receiver in their passing game that you must account for, or do they sort of spread it around?
They spread it around, but I got a lot of love for all those guys. You know, Reed is one that showed up quite a bit. You know, particularly jet sweeps and those kind of things, reverse. They all are very talented and can really, as I call right here, get their share of plays at any time.
You know, that might be a big factor in this game is they have so many young receivers. You guys have so many young DBs. You're a DB coach. Womack, Luter, and all your backup DBs. How do you feel the group's coming along, Steve, and how do you feel like you match up on the back end in this matchup?
I think we match up well. I'm very pleased with how the guys have been playing. We've got to be consistent throughout this performance in this game and throughout postseason. But it starts here with this game first, allowing us to be able to proceed and move on. Our front seven has always been, the focal point of this defense for years, and see the way the guys are stepping on the back end has been great. But the key thing for us this week is, we got to go out and make plays. We can't give up any big plays. We got to keep the ball in front of us. We got to find a way to take it away.
You mentioned that Jordan Love can extend plays with his legs, and he's not looking to run, but he is looking to throw. How big of an emphasis is it this week for you to keep him in the pocket, or can he beat you there too?
Well, it's always a big emphasis that we can try to contain the quarterback and not allow him to be able to have that extra time. So that's something we got to do a great job of up front. Again, with our different, stunts and line moves, and Kasek does a great job of really orchestrating all that. And our guys, again, Eric's back. Excited to see him back at practice and how he's moving around. So that physical presence inside, and then bolstered from the outside. We got to do a great job containing this guy and really trying to get pressure and sack him.
They got 2 starting tight ends in Musgrave and Kraft. How's Greenlaw looking, and do you see him matching up with these guys? I know he's had some Achilles pain. How's he looked with you guys gave him a couple weeks off?
He's looking good. I mean, he's what I call ready to go. Greenlaw to me is just one of those warriors, man. He's going to be ready to play at any time. We got to make sure we protect him against himself. So yesterday he had some time off, and today he was back at it, and he's going to be ready to play. I have no reservations about the matchup with him nor Fred, on their tight ends. And as you've seen us in the past, we run with receivers down the middle of the field as well. So these guys are very talented, and again, it's going to be a tough task for us.
Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.